Sri Guru Charitra chapter 19. Namadharaka asked, Holy Sir, Sri Guru has already expounded the path of jnana, wisdom, and karma, disciplined activities which are self-sufficient. Why then did he find it necessary to expound the path of bhakti, devotion too? Sri Guru explained, of all the paths, bhakti is the best. That is the only means of accomplishing anything. Hence, it is indispensable for all. In fact, bhakti, jnana and karma are not distinct from one another. They form a unity and assist each other in leading us to Brahma Jnana, perfection of wisdom. The latter cannot be achieved by any one of the paths alone. That is Brahma Jnana, perfection of wisdom. The devotee who is ever vigilant and of a sattvic nature is the dearest to the Lord. The man devoid of bhakti would be lost in the ocean of phenomenal existence even though he is assiduous in practicing the karma yoga. As man's faith in and devotion to God grows stronger, he becomes more and more disinterested in worldly things. Only such a one can pursue the life of virtue and righteousness which is dear to God. Then his heart gets purer and he becomes fit for wisdom. Only one who can achieve such a synthesis of bhakti, jnana, karma can realize non-action. Thereby he will be freed from the bondage of action. Now listen to the stories of the beloved, of the faithful and steadfast devotion. And steadfast devotion will strike root in your heart. Every day, some devotee or the other used to visit the master and invite him and his disciples to lunch. Once a poor Brahmin man by name Bhaskara Sharma arrived with provisions of food enough for only 3 persons, but before he could arrange bhiksha for the master, someone or the other used to do so. And Bhaskara Sharma used to join the band of guests. 3 months passed thus. His fellow disciples started insinuating him that he was making a living for himself thus on the pretext of offering bhiksha to Sri Guru. At last Sri Guru came to know of this and said to Bhaskara Sharma, today you arrange bhiksha for me and all the disciples including yourself. The latter was immensely happy. He fetched vegetables and prepared the food. The master then ordered him to invite all for lunch. When he did so, they heckled him saying, we are more numerous than the grains of food you have cooked. How dare you invite all of us? When poor Bhaskara Sharma communicated the same to Sri Guru, the Holy One himself personally commanded all of them to join him at lunch. In perfect obedience to his word, all of them took baths, washed their dishes, and turned up. As per the master's order, the food was consecrated, and then as behoves a cultured host, Bhaskara Sharma entreated all of them, pray all of you, young and old, lunch to your heart's content. When the food was being served, it was found that though the preparations were meager, what was actually being served was enormous in quantity. Even after it was served to many people, what was still left in the vessels was as much as at first prepared. Everyone ate to his full. Then the master ordered that the poor and even the other creatures like crows and dogs should be fed. At last, after ascertaining that none was left unfed, he threw the rest of the food to the fish in the river. So plentiful was the food available. All those who partook of that day's feast were astounded to recollect how incredibly delicious were the dishes served on that day. They said, we heard that once when Pandavas were in deep distress, Lord Krishna came to their rescue by feeding the large group of sages who arrived as their guests and by his divine power. Now we have witnessed the same miracle. Though the food prepared was scanty, the number of people fed today has exceeded 4,000. Though Bhaskara Sharma served the Lord for hardly 3 months, he has proved to be a true disciple. Thus has he earned such grace from the Master. Then they glorified the divine power of Sri Guru. Now listen to another event. There was a barren lady of 60 years named Ganga. She used to visit the Master every day and serve him with firm faith. One day, pleased by her loving service, Sri Guru said, "What is your heart's wish?" She replied, "It has been declared by the Shastras that those who are not blessed with sons have no hope of attaining heaven, and that the souls of even those of their ancestors who, by virtue of their merits, have attained heaven, lose their blissful state and fall to a lower state. Hence, barren as I am much alarmed at my plight." Sri Guru said, "Owing to the force of your karma, you are caught deep in the ocean of delusion. Now that such wisdom has awakened in your heart, you shall be blessed with 2 sons." Amazed at his words, she said, "I have ever been a born barren woman, yet by your grace I shall be blessed with motherhood." As a token of his pledge, she tied the end of a garment in a knot and continued, "All my life was spent in the observance of religious vows.